I would now like to introduce Woodford House Old Girl and current Bridgepa School Principal, Bex Skerman. Rebecca is the youngest principal to be appointed in New Zealand at just 26, after completing her Masters in Māori Education and Achievement at Waikato University in 2016. Please give a warm welcome for Rebecca Skerman.
Thank you, Alia. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bex Skerman. I'm here today standing in front of you as New Zealand's current youngest principal because I took opportunities that were outside of my comfort zone. I am the very proud principal at Bridgepa School. However, my journey to get there has not been smooth sailing. It has been full of ups and downs. I have certainly made my fair share of mistakes, but along the way I have learned one very valuable lesson that I want to share with you today. That one lesson is the power and the importance of resilience. At 27 years of age, it seems like just the other day I was sitting where you girls sit today, stuck with sweat with the person sitting next to me and sweltering in my blazer. I knew I would not be leaving my seat throughout the entire prize giving to receive any prizes, and I certainly wasn't taking any notice of the guest speaker who had been dragged in to prolong my pain. At Woodford House, I was not head girl, I wasn't a prefect, I didn't have any important role of note, unless Term 3 fire warden in the boarding house counts. When I finished school, I was really unsure of what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to help people, so somehow I ended up choosing teaching over nursing. I headed down to Otago for 3 years of fun, which ended very abruptly with 53 job application rejections. I'd like to say I was always resilient, but the truth is I wasn't. I cried like a baby to my parents, convinced that the world had no place for me. This was my first real lesson of resilience, or the lack of it. I have since learned that things don't always go your way. With friends, with boys, with jobs. Believe me, things will go wrong. But you need to learn to find your own way to deal with it. I learned resilience the hard way. Resilience did not come to me naturally. But that certainly didn't stop me from embracing opportunities when they came my way. I learned early that it takes courage to take opportunities and actually embrace them wholeheartedly. After coming to terms with the 53 job rejections, I decided to move to the UK and gain some work experience in London. One of my first jobs was teaching at a private school in Reigate, London. I was boarding with a family in return for nannying their kids. This family were not very nice to me at all. I was treated very badly. For too long, I lacked the courage to change my situation. My failure to act cost me far better opportunities in the short term. But it taught me important lessons about courage. If I did not have the courage to stick to my plans, I risked being a part of somebody else's. My UK job could not have been more different to my next stop. Summoning up all the reserves of courage I had, I decided to move to Asia and teach kids in India and Cambodia. In Cambodia, I was teaching in the poorest parts of Southeast Asia, where the Khmer Rouge regime had committed genocide in the 1970s, killing educated citizens for as little as knowing how to read. I met the survivors of this tragedy and their children too. They were very poor. They ate rice for every meal. They lived in shelters made of mud and sticks. Yet, these people were some of the kindest and most generous people I have ever met. They were always smiling, singing, and continually thanking people for the smallest of things. I taught literacy skills to students in these poor communities of India and Cambodia, and these communities in turn taught me invaluable lessons about the power of resilience. My kids at Bridgepa School, just minutes down the road from here, I think it's actually about 7 minutes, teach me about resilience each and every day. And that is because many of them have had to. They've had to be resilient in their lives, coming from challenging and disadvantaged backgrounds. My kids don't have the chance to worry about things like dietary allergies or special food requests. Despite their hardships, my kids are always ready to test their courage and embrace the opportunities that our school is able to provide for them. I have been the principal of Bridgepa School for almost 2 years now. One of my first fears of undertaking this role was that I was underprepared to lead a school with a role that identified as 100% Māori. I come from a privileged Pākehā background. The Bridgepā community were naturally concerned when it was announced that I was to be their leader, and only 25 years young. Thankfully, I had relieved at Bridgepā for 2 terms and had the amazing support of the board and staff. I've also gained the support of the Bridgepā community in time too. In the process, I have learnt never to judge a book by its cover. Despite many of their own circumstances, I can tell you that every time my school families are respectful, kind, and show genuine concern for their whānau. Together as a community, we have managed to double the role in less than 2 years. I'm extremely proud of how far I've come since I walked out of those gym doors 10 years ago. I may have had an undistinguished school record, but that most certainly does not mean you cannot fulfil your dreams. Good grades are important, but I believe the greatest things I gained from my Woodford House time were strong values, a sense of belonging, and most importantly, lifelong friends. My 2 best friends today were made here in the boarding house aged 12. Their advice and support has been priceless over the years as they have helped to guide me on my journey to becoming a more resilient individual. So hold on to those friends sitting next to you here today. My advice to every single girl here today, and what I wished I could have told myself, is to know that everything will turn out to be okay. Be courageous and grab those opportunities when they come your way. You can't always know where they will take you. Just by embracing this terrifying speaking opportunity, I have learned about Mrs. Peterson's leadership course at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. Not only that, but Mrs. Peterson has helped to convince me to set the goal of taking this course myself. Be sure to know that there will always be the knockers, you'll always make mistakes, but you will bounce back when things don't go your way. Without mistakes, we would not learn to be resilient and strive to do better. I still have so much to learn, and so I want to finish by saying, leavers, your school, your friends, and your family have brought you this far. Now, be kind, be brave, be resilient, keep learning, and have fun. It's up to you now. Thank you very much.